It's not just a room, it's a haven, an escape. It's an amazing place. Let's celebrate. Every stretch, every spoon, every wish upon the moon. Night owls, early birds, crowd surfs. Every day, every night. Amazing.
It's amazing what a little snooze can do.
A LISTNR production.
Morning, I'm Lauren Howarth. A man has died after a crash between a truck and a car on Lane Cove Road in North Ryde overnight. 2 other people have been rushed to hospital in a serious but stable condition. Authorities say the area is likely to remain a crime scene for some time, so drivers should avoid the area. Police have launched a crackdown on youth and street gangs hanging around transport hubs across Sydney. They've charged 350 people and seized dozens of knives and other weapons. A new report shows house prices in Sydney have increased by more than $120,000 in just the past year. PropTrack says the median price is now sitting around the 1.6 million mark, while units have risen by over 50 grand to be around $880,000. And a win for some Western Sydney residents. The opening hours of Penrith Beach, also known as Bondi, are set to be extended, giving locals the chance to cool off from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. A crackdown on youth and street gangs across Sydney. Police have charged 350 people after carrying out an operation around transport hubs and other public areas last month. They also seized dozens of knives and other weapons. Firefighters have all but put out a massive industrial blaze in North St Mary's. Explosions were heard as the inferno broke out over the weekend. Fire and Rescue Superintendent Adam Dewberry says they remain on the scene.
To cool and extinguish any fires that reignite. The last one did reignite around 6 o'clock this morning.
Meantime, there's a total fire ban in place for Sydney today. We're also under an extreme fire danger rating. Investigations are underway into a fatal crash in North Ryde overnight. A man's dead and 2 other people are in a serious but stable condition. And new PropTrack data shows house prices in Sydney have gone up by more than 120 grand in the past year. An early Christmas present for Sydney drivers. The NRMA is forecasting petrol prices to drop to their lowest level since the COVID pandemic for the festive season. Prices are tipped to start falling over the coming days. A man's turned up to Fairfield Hospital with a gunshot wound overnight. The 43-year-old told staff he'd been shot in the leg. Police are now investigating. The World Health Organization has released a new guideline for GLP-1 style medications such as Ozempic. It's recommending they be used as long-term treatments for obesity. But it comes as Australia's medicines regulator issues a safety warning about the potential risk of suicidal thoughts or behaviours. And newlyweds Anthony Albanese and Jodie Hayden have been spotted at Sydney Airport flying out for their honeymoon. They're enjoying a mini getaway at an undisclosed location before the PM returns to work on Friday. An early Christmas present for Sydney drivers. The NRMA is forecasting petrol prices to drop to their lowest level since the COVID pandemic for the festive season. Prices are tipped to start falling over the coming days. Police are investigating a deadly crash between an e-bike rider and garbage truck in Ultimo. Emergency crews raced to the scene around 6 a.m, unable to save a guy in his 30s. A blueprint to help Australia deal with artificial intelligence is being released today. Among the key focus points, supporting and upskilling workers and more investment in data centres.
There's enormous benefits here for Australians and enormous benefits for Australia itself in the broadest possible sense. But we want to make sure that we're keeping Australians safe. Industry
Minister Tim Ayres on 9 there. And a honeymoon at a secret location for the PM and his new wife Jodie. The newlyweds were spotted at Sydney Domestic Airport yesterday, jetting off for a mini getaway. Major delays for train commuters across the Blue Mountains. A car's landed on railway tracks at Blaxland. Buses are now replacing services between Springwood and Penrith. Fire and Rescue Superintendent Adam Dewberry says it's a complex operation.
Particularly when you've got live 1500 direct current electricity above that powers the trains. So safety is the first priority.
Task Force detectives have charged 6 people and seized more than $12 million worth of assets after teams carried out raids across Sydney targeting an organised criminal network. Another 2 social media platforms have been put on notice ahead of Australia's ban for under-16s. Lemonade and Yope have been told to determine whether they fall under the new legislation. Briefly, a man's been charged after a standoff with police on a shopping centre roof in Tilapia. And it's going to be hot in the coming days. Temps are forecast to rise to tops of 39 in Penrith on Friday, then 41 on Saturday. The price of a typical house in Sydney has risen by $150,000 this year, according to the latest from Domain, while the median unit now costs nearly $40,000 more. Dr. Nicola Powell says there's no real relief in sight for property hunters.
We are expecting momentum to continue into the first half of next year, which means we are expecting prices to continue to rise.
Trains still aren't running between Springwood and Penrith on the Blue Mountains line. Buses continue to replace services after a car fell onto railway tracks at Blaxland yesterday. Authorities say the complex repair work should be finished later this morning. Charges after a home was shot up in Casula. Police say more than 50 rounds were fired from a semi-automatic weapon last month. 2 guys have been refused bail. And a chilly drug bust. Authorities have found nearly $9 million worth of cocaine inside a refrigerated shipping container in Port Botany.
You know what's good?
A big drug bust at Port Botany. Federal police have discovered nearly $9 million worth of cocaine hidden inside a refrigerated shipping container. They're now trying to find out who sent the drugs. Some Aussie teens are waking up without Facebook and Instagram this morning. Meta has started locking under-16s out of the apps less than a week out from Australia's social media ban. The tech giant's also blocking new accounts for underage users. The median price of a house in Sydney has risen by $150,000 this year, according to Domain, while the typical unit now costs nearly $40,000 more. Briefly, 2 men have been charged after a Casula home was peppered with bullets last month. And turns out we're a nation of Swifties, with Taylor Swift named Australia's top artist. Spotify Wraps out today. Our favourite songs this year include Alex Warren's Ordinary and Gracie Abrams' That's So True. Sydney is going to be hit by severe heat today, with temps forecast to soar up to 40 degrees in some areas. Penrith's bracing for a max of 40, getting to 35 in the city. It will be hot tomorrow as well. Authorities are reminding us to stay hydrated and to avoid the heat where possible. The M4 tunnel has finally reopened in both directions between Haberfield and North Strathfield. Some motorists were stuck in the tunnel for up to 4 hours yesterday due to emergency repairs. There had been concerns concrete roofing could fall onto traffic. The federal government says all options are on the table to tackle soaring specialist fees, which have more than doubled in a decade. It's considering tougher measures beyond fee transparency, which could include restricting Medicare access for doctors who charge extreme prices. And plans for a $700 million indoor ski centre in Penrith have taken a major step forward. The Aussie group behind the proposal has reportedly signed a deal with Asian giant Bonski. A 2-day summer scorcher for Sydney. Temps are forecast to soar to tops of 40 in Penrith today and 35 in the city. Tomorrow could be even hotter, with extreme fire danger also predicted for us and other areas across the state. Authorities have given the all clear for the M4 tunnel to reopen in both directions between Haberfield and North Strathfield. Some drivers were stuck in the tunnel for up to 4 hours yesterday due to emergency repairs. Aussies searching online for information about eating disorders or suicide will soon be automatically redirected to mental health help. From the 27th, search engines will also be forced to blur explicit and violent images under new safety codes. And next year's Eurovision could look very different, with Israel remaining in the song contest despite pressure to ban it over the war in Gaza. Spain, Ireland and the Netherlands have already quit in protest. Other nations are considering the same move.
Listening Hisense and the NRL are going big like never before. Go bigger with a Hisense TV.